What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to my channel. That was weird. Today I'm going to be talking about parents that let their kids transition at like pre-K, maybe like elementary like age. You know, I have strong feelings about this. So I want to start this off by saying, yes, I am transgender. So that's that. There's my badge, my whatchamacallit. That's my clearance. Just put this on ahead of time because, you know, I got the hat on. I'm ready to start flaming. Alright, so transitioning as a child is very dangerous for numerous reasons, and I admire the parents that believe or hope that they're helping their children, you know, become more comfortable with their bodies, with their mind, you know, psychologically, emotionally, all that in between. That's really, like, I admire that. That's beautiful. That's cool. But there's so many ways to channel that energy that doesn't result in medical transition as a child, as a baby, as a toddler, as someone that's not even mentally developed yet. Alright, let me just dive in. The first reason why I believe this is this is just a bad idea is the fact that medically transitioning sterilizes you. It's so you're telling me someone that is 4 years old, 5, 6, 7, 10 years old knows whether or not they want children in the future? I mean, I sure as hell didn't know. I sure as hell still don't know. And I'm 17. Not like I should know at this point. And that's my point. So with that being said, you're talking about someone that's like that young, not knowing, wouldn't know, and you're making this choice for them to, like, what's that word called? Like, you're basically dictating their fate because you see these signs of the discomfort or their reoccurring like mannerisms or tendencies and stuff like that. Like, again, good for you. Be cautious. Always take hints and signals and stuff like that. But being transgender is not like the wave. It's not like common. It shouldn't be common. I don't know why it's being overly played in media like it's some huge, like it's the masses of the people or something. No, it's fairly small, you know, because it's a portion of people that don't feel comfortable in a different way than others would. Some of y'all do need to be sterilized, but like that's something else. That's for something else, you know. That's another topic. That's another day. Also, again, adding on to the whole kids not knowing whether they do or they don't want kids. Kids are just overall indecisive. I cannot even tell you how many things I impulsively did or said or wanted and etc. etc. Like my ass couldn't even tell if I wanted chicken tenders or chicken nuggets, you know? Let alone figure out whether I want to be a girl or a boy some complex matter at the age of 6 to 10. Like, it's unfathomable that you would pursue something so complex and complicated with a child. Like, I understand the whole trying to be supportive, trying to help, trying to demonstrate love, but there's so many other ways, there's so many other solutions. Me personally, I never explicitly said it at those ages, you know. In the stage of, like, in those stages of my life, I was still gathering information for myself so I can recognize whether or not this truly felt true to me. And with that being said, that's how I figured out that this all made sense to me. But along the way, others saw the same, like, patterns, mannerisms, tendencies, whatever, that I was displaying. So when it came to the conclusion, everyone was like, yeah, makes sense. We put the word and we match it to the situation, and again, makes sense. But if you have a kid that, I don't know, maybe wants to play with dolls, okay, cool, let the kid play with the dolls. But automatically jump to the conclusion, it's transgender, is just, no, that's messy. That's messy. You can't. No, do the research. Or even the other way around, when I'm obviously stereotypically stating play with dolls. And that's also another day, another time, another topic. It would also go for, like, if a child was biologically born female and wanted to play with a truck, you know. But again, if it was explicit, and I never explicitly stated my feelings until I felt, you know, I had it all together. Like, I had all the information. Like, I fully felt educated on myself to the point where I knew where I was at mentally and physically. And that didn't take me until, again, I was like 14 turning 15, and that itself was like already at an alarming age, you know, because I was like at the cusp of like becoming not an adult, but like an age where you can start taking kids seriously. Not 10, 9, 8, 7, you know? Because age really does play a role when it comes to like maturity and like just full out mental development. Age really does play a role, and there's so many scientific studies that can back that up. Yes, you can have certain people that are a lot more articulate, a lot more passionate when it comes to explaining themselves and how they feel, but just because they understand something does not mean they know everything about it to the extent that they can, you know, pursue it. Okay, I hope y'all following. Because these the hormones, see, I'm like stressed, the hormones that are given are like majority of the things are permanent. So if it's a child, because I saw this video the other day, the kid was like 6 or 7 years old. If the child 6 or 7, you give them these hormone replacement therapies and you know, the estrogen or the testosterone of the gender that they want to be, then when they're like my age, let's say for an example, and they're really like, oh, this ain't right, I actually want to be this, and it don't look right, it don't look the same, downstairs don't look the same, and I don't have the right sizing on this because it was stunted by growth, or it was enlarged or whatever, you know. So and then they're sterile on top of that, and they want kids and they can't produce, or they can't, you know, help, whatever. And then on top of that, there's actual health, like not warnings, but like it plays with your health. Like you're injecting, for me, I'm injecting hormones into my body that will replicate or just mimic the testosterone from actual biological males. So I'm have more similar attributes or health issues to males, because you know, just inherently there's women have better health benefits in certain areas of their body, and vice versa to men, and the same applies when it comes to disadvantages. So when you're biologically female, you already have those disadvantages and certain benefits, and then when you're injecting yourself with the male hormones, you're gonna also attract those disadvantages and hardly the benefits, because it's biological, you know? It's just bio. But that's not to say that anyone that goes on testosterone or estrogen is just gonna full out become a walking health case or anything, but like, those are the things that you need to look out for. Those are things that are really like, you know, just pay attention. And it's not, I want to say it's not rocket science, but like, you gotta do the research, and no one's doing the research, and that's why everyone's getting screwed over, really, or end up detransitioning, and then it's not cute. Going back to when I said there's so many other things you can do to help the kids, therapy. I mean, I was one of those kids that actually had like consistent therapy sessions, but like, because I'm very like mental, like I solve everything through looking through my own lens and evaluating and analyzing and just realizing what's gonna be the next step for me to benefit from the situation, right? That's me. I can do everything myself most of the time. Others, majority of the people in this world cannot do that. They need that actual human interaction for assessing situations and hashing things out like that. And that's okay, that's fine, that's cool, that's more efficient, that's diligent. So when you have someone that's specialized in that field, so many people want to skip this step of having a gender therapist, but when you have someone specialized in that field, then you can easily assess whether or not this is the perfect fit for you. But if you do not do that, or you try to cancel that out like PEMDAS or something, then you run into these issues, you know? And also, hormone blockers is a thing. I don't really like, I don't want to speak ignorantly about this, because I didn't take hormone blockers personally, but I'm just gonna use the context of the name. It blocks the hormones that kids would biologically have pumped into them. Like, again, if, for an example, a little boy is going to have testosterone just naturally enter his body, bio, all that. The hormone blockers would just impede that testosterone from being pumped in numerously throughout the days, the years, the month, whatever. I just said that not even in chronological order, but yeah, you get the idea. So that versus going to the extreme of the medical transitioning of like, oh, let's get the surgery for the kid, let's just put him on T or estrogen or all that. Is like, come on, take the steps. That's how you know that when you take the steps, that's how you know you're the most efficient in this decision. And I'm just gonna reiterate to be cautious, you know, and not super forceful in this process. Like, last thing anybody wants is to detransition. I would really hope that would be the last thing. You don't want to waste all that time and all that money, all that effort, and then you're probably sacrificing friendships and like fam and, you know, things you don't need to be. So don't act on impulse. Do not act on impulse, and that goes for the, well, it's gonna be harder to say for the kids, but for the parents, don't act on impulse. Like, everybody wants to be the best mom, best dad, best guardian. Yeah, sure, but to be the best, you gotta do the work to be the best, and that's not taking the easy route, or I don't want to call transitioning easy, but like not going to what you think is the first solution. You know, you gotta map things out and go from there. Also, to inform yourselves, you know. Oh no, that's just repetitive. But guys, just read a book. Research these things. Don't just be like, oh, I don't feel comfortable in my body, I'm trans. What? What? No, that's not how it works. It took me a while to really come to terms of what I am. I thought I was lesbian, but then I was like, no, this ain't it, chief. And everybody was also thinking, no, this ain't it. But luckily, like, it's good that transgenderism is more publicized now, because that's how I slowly began to understand what I was, or what I am. But it's gotten to a point where it's completely like, this is the solution for everybody. This is it, you know? And that's not the case. And I just really hate to see a kid who is essentially powerless, but has the most voice, you know? And that confusion is gonna drive their entire life from that moment of being a kid into either the gutter, the trash dumpster, or to happiness. And I feel like that's a chance that is it's a risk that's very hard to decide on that early on, when your mind is literally scientifically not even developed yet. So that's my spiel, that's my piece, that's my rant, that's my beliefs, thoughts. We can agree to disagree. I don't care. I'm sticking by what I gotta say, because Lord knows, if I can barely choose what I want, chicken tenders or chicken nuggets, that says enough for a child. That's it for today's video. You guys know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on social media.